people are still paying attention, right? I mean, there's still how many people played in this tournament, this Ursa Day tournament? 1,700 or something like
Yeah,
that, I
it's like a
want to say.
ridiculous amount.
Yeah, like a crazy amount of people. And that was one of the things we wanted to talk about here was just kind of the state of competitive Pocket here. Ursa Day put out this graphic, said the growth of Pokemon Pocket's grassroots competitive scene has been astounding. Together, we've proved this game has legs, sharing that 22,000 unique players on limitlesstcg.com, which is more users than every other game on the platform combined. Every other TCG
Jeez.
player, every other VG player, Digimon, One Piece, whatever else they've hosted on there, more Pocket players than everything else combined. Ursa Day's been averaging 1,800 players in her tournaments a week, which is obscene. 6,000 people watched the Hooglandia and Spraggles Open, which I suppose was a grassroots tournament. I actually didn't know that this happened, but 6,000 viewers. I mean, that's a lot of people watching
Yeah.
competitive Pocket, for especially for grassroots level, like we've said. And then high performing players make top cut in up to 30% of the tournaments they participate in.
Yeah. So yeah, those are actually like pretty big numbers. I actually saw this tweeted out, but I didn't read all the breakdowns for them. Um, it does make you wonder. Now I'm like kind of curious. I wonder how many people they could get to show up to play Pocket at like a regional, like uncapped. How
Yeah.
many players do you think they could eventually get? The numbers could get pretty big. I feel like a lot of what Pocket would want to do though, if they do ever have like some kind of official support, would probably be on phone tournaments like qualifiers, and then maybe there's bigger tournaments at ICs, like invitational onlys at ICs and worlds. Kind of what like what Unite does, right? That's like how Unite's circuit operates. Unite isn't at every regional championship. I think this is the first year that they've been at LAIC,
Yeah.
but in the past they've been at UIC and NAIC, and I imagine they will still be at those this year, through like an invitational type thing where you play the online tournament qualifiers or whatever. And same thing for like getting to worlds. I imagine Pocket would go a similar route if there ever is any official competition. And honestly, I really don't see a reason to not have some kind of official competition for the game. I mean, I don't know why they wouldn't eventually do something. And I think it actually like there's like and if they don't, there is like room because I know like Ursa Days has the most popular weekly tournament. It sounds like this the Hooglandia and Spraggles Open was probably more players than what Ursa Day averages. But of course that's not like a weekly thing. There would be like room for someone to like try and create, I don't know, between like Ursa Day and Spraggles and Hoogland, like if they could come together and make like kind of like an official, unofficial tournament circuit, I think there would be like a lot of interest in something like that. Because like the weeklies are cool and all, but having some kind of like quarterly invitational to build up towards, or and I looked at like one of Ursa Day's tournament. It doesn't look like the weeklies build into any kind of invitational from what I can see. Kind of like we have with like the late night tournaments and stuff like that,
Yeah.
where it like leads into an invitational. But you could have like an official, unofficial world championships for Pocket. I don't see any reason that they couldn't step up and do that, and pretty easily do it as well. I feel like because like Limitless makes things so simple to like make to do like earning points for placement into like some kind of invitational, into some kind of worlds qualifier or something like that. So yeah, I think it's just kind of like if they want to step up and do it, and it wouldn't even require much more effort than I think what Ursa Day is already putting in with like the weekly tournament. So yeah, if official support doesn't seem like it's ever going to come, I think there'd be a lot of interest in some kind of official, unofficial world championships in Pocket. I think they'd get a lot of it, players for that. I would maybe even consider trying to qualify myself, to be honest.
Yeah, I think that it would make a lot of sense for there to be some sort of official sanctioned play with Pocket. I think it's pretty obvious from the last few months of release that the gameplay of the game is a little bit less of a focus compared to the collecting aspect, it feels like.
Really?
And any sort of competitive play is very much an afterthought, it feels like. The little events they've run are fine, but there's nothing special. They don't even really incentivize you to play the game regularly. The daily challenges relate to opening packs.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah, there's
Wonder Pigs.
no benefit for playing a game every single day. Um,
I was kinda waiting for an official. I thought that was the word, that there was gonna be an official ranked ladder eventually, and that's when I was planning to try and dive into it a little bit more. Because just playing, like, random quick play matches or whatever you wanna call it, just, like, playing, like, on the whatever system it is it's pretty bad. Like, it's, like, not very what am I looking for? Like, intriguing or not
Yeah,
captivating. Like, it's just
enticing.
yeah, like, the level of play you get is, like, pretty poor. And that's with me, like, making mistakes myself. Like, the level of decks and the level of play that you kind of run into on average is just, like it doesn't really make me wanna, like, continue to play the game because it's like, "Well, my opponent threw again." I guess, like, I'm not really learning anything about, like, how do I have like, what do I have to do? Like, put me in harder situations to try and figure out what I have to do. And so playing in the online tournaments is the only way to do that. Um but of course, that requires you to be at that specific time that whenever they're happening. And like the Ursa Day tournaments are actually something I've considered trying to play in weekly, but just been
You should
busy
try to
lately.
multi-tournament one week. That would be kinda sick.
I don't know if I can make that work. That'd be too
Why
difficult to
not?
do probably. I would just like be literally playing both at the same time.
Yeah.
On my
Surely there would
screen, I would just have
be
both up.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That would be actually so sick.
I don't know about that.
You could do it. I believe in you.
Sounds like a headache.
But yeah, I would like to see them do something eventually. I have a feeling like it's probably not going to be super soon if something happens. Just like comparing it to Pokemon Go, right? A very similar thing. The actual playing of the game very much not the focus at the start of the game's launch, but eventually has become, a huge dedicated community of Pokemon Go. Um, and it's like a part of the official circuit. So I imagine it would be something that is like a very much a future thing.